So, what is the opposite of addition? Hopefully know that to be subtraction. Now, the opposite of subtraction would therefore be addition. Opposite of divide or division would be multiplication. The opposite of multiplication would be to divide. Now, here's the tricky one. What is the opposite of square root? Well, the answer is right here, actually. The opposite of the square root of, I just gave away the answer. What is the opposite of squared? The opposite of squared is your square root. And the opposite of square root is squared. Okay. Now, these are just for your reference. I don't think that we won't actually visit these in this lesson, however. But they're always good to know what those opposites are. Alrighty, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so here we have the equation y plus 10 equals 17. Now I reckon that you can already figure that one out in your heads just by going, well, if I take away 10 from 17, you would get y. Okay, so let's start off with how we view equations. Okay, so here we have the equation. Oops, not sure if that did anything. Okay. Alright, so we've got y plus 10 equals 17. Now in the middle here is a very important symbol. That is the equal sign. But what this sign also means is that whatever's on the left side here is also equal to what's on the right side here. So both sides are balanced at the moment, okay? Now what we want to do is try and find out what the value of y is. Okay? And there's rules that we can do that. First of all, if we can remember back to slide 1. So what was the opposite of add? Well, the opposite of add would be to subtract. So when what we want to do with these equations, or to get y, to figure out what y is, or the unknown letter, is to get the unknown letter by itself on the left. So we want to keep any unknown letter on the left by itself, and we want to get all of the numbers to the right. So pretty straightforward. So letters left, numbers right. Okay, got that? Letters on the left of the equal sign, and all the numbers on the right. And we literally can just move these to this side. Okay, but there's a few tricks to doing that, and we're going to go over that now. So once again, the opposite of addition is subtraction. So to move this 10, or plus 10, to the right side of the equal sign, we simply need to take it away. Because addition, or subtraction, as we did over here, is the opposite of addition. So what that happens is cancels out. But the thing is that we need to do the same to both sides, okay? Remember that the equal sign here needs to be balanced, okay? So subtract 10 from both sides. So when we solve those, so remember these two are cancelled out, so we're left with y equals, then if we do this sum here, so 17 minus 10 gives you 7. So there you go, y equals 7. That wasn't too hard, was it? Alright, let's look at another example. Okay, here we go. Y minus 8 equals 10. So in the last one we had y plus 7 equals 17. So we had a plus. In this one we have a minus here. Okay, so similar in the last one. So what is the opposite of minus? Well, the opposite of minus is the plus. Now, remember, this means that whatever's on this side is equal to this side, okay? We always need to do the same to both sides, whatever we do, alright? So we've got we've got minus 8 here, sorry. And remember, we want to get all of the numbers to the right side of the equation. We want to keep all of the letters on the left. So what we're going to do is decide or realise what the opposite of minus 8 is. Any ideas? Alright, well, you were thinking correctly. The opposite of minus 8 is plus 8. Now remember, we need to do both the same sides because this is this means equals, so both sides need to be balanced. So whatever we do to the left, we've got to do to the right. We need to do the same thing. Alright, so minus 8 plus 8 crosses out each other, and we need to work out this equation. So, this, what 10 plus 8 is. So let's rewrite this because things are getting a bit messy. So y equals, now what is 10 plus 8? Let's figure that out. 10 plus 8 is 18. Done. Now that wasn't too bad, was it? Now let's just check if we got this right. So on the left we've got all of the letters, there's no numbers there. And on the right side we've got all numbers and no letters. Okay. Let's go to the next, which is, whoa, things are getting a bit tricky here. We've got y over 3 equals 3. Oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Okay, so things are getting a bit tricky. Now, remember, we need to view this as y divided by 3. Okay? Now, similar to the first ones, we've got division. What is the opposite of division? Okay. Well, the opposite of division is multiplication. So, that must mean we need to multiply both sides by 3. So, if we do this to both sides, let's figure out what happens. So, without thinking too much, these two just cancel out. So, we're left with y equals. Alright, we've got the letters on one side of the equation. Now, we need to work out what is 3 times 3. 1 3 is 3, 2 3s are 6, 3 3s are 9. Okay, so we have letters on the left, numbers on the right. Everything seems to be order. Done. How's that? That wasn't too bad, was it? Alrighty. So that is division. Okay, here we have one more example. Okay, so let's look at this again. We have 2y equals 30. Now, we need to recognise that a number in front of a letter means times. Sorry, that's a bit messy. How's about I rewrite it? So that actually means 2 times y equals 30. Okay, so just remember that anytime there is a number in front of a letter, a pronumeral, that means that they are timesing by each other. So this is our times or multiplication example. So, what to do? Alright, same with the last 3 examples, we have a multiplication here. Now what is the opposite of multiply? You got it, divide. Okay, so what we need to do here is do a division on both sides. But what are we going to divide? Will we divide the y to both sides? Well, we'd only do that if we wanted to get the y to that side. But we don't want to do that. We want to get, remember, all the letters on the left, all the numbers on the right. So we're going to look at this too. Now, just to remind you guys, any number is positive. So this is a positive 2, okay? Any number at all, doesn't matter what it is, unless there's actually a minus sign in front of it. For example, if we just had -3 or -2 or -1, then they would be negative numbers. But if there's nothing in front of it, then we just assume that it's a positive, okay? Alrighty. So let's work this out. So we know that our opposite is divide. So we need to divide both sides by 2 because we want to move this 2 to over here. Now, all the numbers on the right, remember? So divide both sides by 2. Now, without thinking too much, this here just cancels out, so we're left with y on one side. So all the letters are on the left side by themselves, that's good. Now, we need to work out this problem over here. We've got 30 divided by 2. Alright, what is half of 30, everyone? You got it, 15. Yeah, well, that wasn't too bad, was it? So that's dividing. So just remember, always start with finding out what is the opposite, okay? Now, here we go. We've got our last tricky ones. This is a combination of all of those ones together. Because we've got an addition. Oh, sorry, we don't have a subtraction. That's all right. Anyways, we've got addition, we've got a division, and we've got a multiplication up here. So 2 times y, or 2y, divided by 4, plus 2 equals 10. All right. Same as before, let's find out our opposite. So we've got a plus. What's the opposite of plus? Minus. We've got a divide there. What is the opposite of divide? Times. And we also have a times. What is the opposite? Divide. Okay, we can do this. So, we want this letter on the left of the equal sign by itself, and we want to move these 1, 2, 3 numbers to the other side. Now, my tip is to just start with this one here, okay? Don't start with the division. You can, but things get a bit tricky, so we'll start over here, okay? Now, what is the opposite of plus 2? Minus 2. So we need to minus 2 from both sides. So if we do that, that cancels out, and we'll rewrite it. So we've got 2y divided by 4 gives us, well, what's 10 minus 2? You got it? 8. Okay. So we've now got 2y divided by 4 equals 8. Next step, we want to move this number out, okay? You don't want to start up here because that will make things a bit tricky, alright? We want to start down here, okay? We're working our way, if I can draw another line, so we started here, we're making our way this way and up, okay? Through the numbers, there's a sequence of going about it. If we try some other ways, it could get a bit tricky. Alright, so what is the opposite of divided by 4? Well, we identified that over here, so times. So we want to go times 4 on both sides to get our numbers. Okay, they cancel out. And we need to work out what this is. 8 times 4, 8, 16, 24, 32. So let's rewrite what we've got so we're not getting too confused amongst all these numbers. 2y equals 32. We're nearly there, guys. One more step. 2 times y equals 32, okay? Over here we identified the opposite of y equals, or the opposite of y, of multiplication, sorry, is divide. So, let's do this last step. So, we've got our 2 here, remember that's 2 times y. So, we want to divide this side by 2. And we also want to divide this side by 2, okay? So if I can make this smaller, actually I'm just going to try and get out of that. Okay, let's just do it, our answer over here. So we've got 2 times y here, this all just, let's use our red, just cancels out, okay? And we're then left with y equals, so letter on the left, that's good, all by itself, that's what we want. And now I just need to work out this one. 32 divided by 2. Well, let's take some mental shortcuts. So half of 30 is 15. And if we add 1, that would be 16. That means that half of 32 is 16. Got it? Alright, so let's have a little recap. So we looked at additions, subtractions, multiplications, divisions of algebraic terms. Okay. Remember, you need to find your opposites. So these are our opposites. Okay. They should all link together actually. So hopefully you found that pretty informative. Make sure you watch this over and over again if you need to, and start to attempt some of those examples in your textbook. Any further questions, just give me a buzz. Alright, thanks guys.